Hello and welcome to Peter's Corner. My name is Peter Lanzillo, and you are tuned in to show number 3 of Fundamentals to Connecting to Your Loved One Living with Dementia. And I have with me Chrissy Wordman and Laura Lavoie. And ladies, you make this show possible. In today's show, you're going to be talking about the holidays. Holidays can be a time of stress, but holidays should be a time of happiness. And we are going to let you explain to us how we can get rid of the stress and capitalize on the happiness. It's your show, ladies.
Thank you,
Thank you, Peter.
And thank you to the viewers who are here this week. We're very thankful that you are here and being a part of the show. And this week, Laura and I thought it was important to provide you with some useful tips, holiday tips, so that you can, embrace and celebrate the holidays with your loved ones. First, though, I just wanted to touch on something that is also important. And with the holidays, yes, we might be, it's a time of celebrating and coming together, but it's also a time where some caregivers might be feeling their sense of loss. They might be grieving during this time. And it's important to talk about that. As caregivers, we need to give ourselves permission to grieve. And the holiday season just kind of brings that emotion out into the forefront of our minds. And what we're really grieving is that loss, which is another 4-letter word, but it's the loss of the role that your loved one had prior to memory loss, as well as the loss of your role that you had prior to this. And so it comes during a time when you have these family traditions like carving the turkey, or mom's famous family recipe of mashed potatoes and stuffing, or putting the ornament on top of the Christmas tree. You may not be able to have that person, your loved one, do that particular task like they had done in the past. But that doesn't mean that you still can't celebrate the holidays and have that tradition and that meaning come true. So instead of having dad, for instance, carve the turkey, if that's what you eat, perhaps now he's able to take all of the beautiful meat platter and bring it to the table so you can all share as a family. Or instead of buying a 12-foot, 8-foot tree, then we modify that. And maybe it's a 4.5-foot, 5-foot tree. So a ladder isn't needed, and dad can still place that beautiful ornament on top of that tree, and the meaning is still there. Or helping mom in the kitchen with her recipes and breaking down into doable tasks. I'm all about no fail. You're setting everyone up to succeed. So instead of having mom do the entire recipe from start to finish, maybe she puts in the chopped vegetables or the potatoes or stirs or whatever it may be and presents that to the family. So holiday traditions can still be alive. We just need to make a few modifications and changes. That's all. But it's important still to don't deny yourself the opportunity to feel this grief. And it's a healing process. And that's important, to feel that emotion. And we all grieve differently. Some cry. They might be crying a little bit more this year. You might. Talking out loud. Some people feel that talking out loud is not, might be a little different, but that's very healthy to get it out into the open. Walking a little bit more, being in nature, praying, the power of prayer. All of these things are healthy ways to deal with the emotion and what evolves, comes around with, involved with loss. You don't want to resist the change, though. We talked about that in previous shows, is resisting change, and that When we resist that, we're allowing that fear to come in. But you just need to honor those feelings, and when you honor it, you're able to be with your loved one with an open heart and mind. And change is inevitable. It just is. So it's how we manage that change is critical to our relationships, especially during this holiday season. Because the holiday season is so special, and we just want to come together as a family and to celebrate who we are and what we're about. So with that, we'd love to talk about our holiday tips, so that you can embrace this special time with confidence and peace of mind with your loved one. So I will kick off our very first tip, and that is all about prioritizing self-care. And that's taking care of you as a caregiver. And that is very important, especially when things can be very stressful and you've got a to-do list. It's important to be able to take a step back and say, I think I'm feeling overwhelmed and I need to take time for me. And so some of the tips that we have for you is maybe having extra time for that exercise. It may not have to be a whole hour of exercise. For me, I didn't feel comfortable being that having that time away from my responsibility of being a caregiver. But what I did decide to do was take that 10 minutes and walk the dog every morning. So it gave me an opportunity to just be out in the fresh air, breathe in the fresh air, and to look out onto this beautiful land that we have, and to regroup, to center, and to be grounded so I can start my day. And it would just took 5 or 7 minutes, but boy, did that change my outlook and my attitude. And I was really happy that I decided to do that. So it's could be something manageable, something that doesn't take too much time or compromise anything. Another is writing. If you're blogging, you can continue to blog so that you can connect with people. Listening to music, making music. If you play the piano or an instrument, a harmonica, continue to do so. Another is prayer, I mentioned. And if you have joined a support group, to continue to go. And it's important to connect with people who understand what you're going through, and to share that. And if you are starting to feel isolated by just you're feeling all alone, to reach out to that trusting, loving friend that you confide in and say, I'm feeling overwhelmed. So it's all of these will bring some balance to you. So then once you have balance and that time to yourself, you can give that to others. But the first thing is your priority. Take care of yourself so you can take care of others and really enjoy this holiday season.
Yeah. And so going on off of the self-care that Chrissy was just talking about, one of the ways that you can reduce your stress and you can make it a more connected and more joyful event is to know your guest list. You know the people that have been in your life that have been helping you through this. Who lends a hand, who gets a little stressed out over the situation. And so, make that small list and make it count. Make it the people that are going to make this a joyful occasion, that if something goes wrong, there's no sweat, there's no judgment, there's no worry that your loved one is going to have a feeling of being embarrassed by something that happens. So really, and keeping it small is another key thing. Now, the fact that you know your guest list, doesn't mean that you need to stay home. However, familiar surroundings may help you again to be successful, because change, as you know, as you're going through this progression of the disease, change of routine can be difficult. So if you can master the fact that, we're staying home and we're having, our children and their favorite aunt, and it's going to be 6 of us instead of the 22 that we used to gather with at my sister's big family house. Then that's what you make it, and take the joy of that, and knowing that it's going to be smaller, but it's going to be all people who are very comfortable with the life that you and your loved one are living at this time. And as far as traditions, so, well, wait, sorry, I don't want to talk about that yet. What I want to talk about is making a to-do list. Make a to-do list and delegate. Delegate to those people who are coming, and, help them to say, what can I do? That thing we talked about last week with the fear, don't be afraid to ask them. So you can make your to-do list and you can say, this one's going to bring this one's going to do this. So-and-so, whoever has that special connection, maybe with dad, you're going to be the one, if things start to get a little overwhelming, you're going to go in the other room with him and watch football or have that good conversation you've been wanting to have, because you can tell things are getting a little bit heightened for him. So before it gets too bad, we're going to just scooch right in here, and that ahead of time. Or if mom loves to be the one, like Chrissy was saying, who did the cooking, and things are getting a little hectic in there, you can all the women get together and have her sit down and give her that, potato peeler or the carrots, and be about the conversation. It's just make it about the joy of the moment. Think about that. This holiday season is just the joy of each moment that you can create.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah. And a part of that too is learning to, it's okay to say no. Just say no. It's very simple, but I know it's hard to do at times, especially when you have expectations of yourself. But it's okay, and to forgive yourself for not doing everything. You can't do everything, especially when there has been significant changes in your life. And when you think about it, that each commitment that you agree to is really, you're also saying no to something else. So there's an opportunity cost there. And for instance, if you say yes to a certain commitment, you're saying no to that relaxing time for yourself, or it could be that exercise that you really committed yourself and said, this is really important, that 10-minute time. Don't compromise yourself. And if you do say no, those loving, trusting, dear family and friends that know what you're going through, they will say, that's okay. How can I help you? They really will. It's okay during this time.
Yeah. And another thing, we talked about the importance of maintaining that routine. Caregiving and care partnering doesn't stop because it's December 31st, or it's December 25th, or it's a high holy day for the Jewish religion. You still have to do all of those things that you do to help this person have a nice, successful day. So don't change that routine as much as possible, because that starts your day out better. So plan a later meal. Plan one where it's not going to interfere with all of the things that have made the partnership successful for the two of you. And people are at different places on this journey. And so if it's a first year for somebody who has, just developed dementia, and maybe they don't even know yet, then the modifications can be small. But say it's a person who, has early onset, or a person who is aware, I've got dementia. I understand it's a diagnosis. We're working it out. My wife or my husband or my child is helpful to me, but I can still do a lot of things. Honor that too. Make sure that they do all that they can do, so that, yes, like Chris, perfect example with Chrissy is, if they always put that star on the tree, make it shorter, just be like, Dad, I don't know where the ladder is this year, but you know what? We got this really great tree and you can still do that and you should still do that. So again, not taking away too early things that maybe they can do. And you can have a conversation with them beforehand. So, honey, or so, mom or dad, we're looking at the holiday season coming up. What do you want? What's important to you for that this year? What would be the thing you'd like to have happen this year? And really listen to what they're saying and take that in, because it's not you telling them, you don't want that kind of a relationship. Again, when we talked last time about fear, the relationship will change, yes, but let them be involved in the decisions that are being made as much as possible. Sometimes it's not possible, and then you are there to make those decisions because you know them best. So, go ahead and have those conversations, and just don't make things so big that you're setting yourself up for disappointment, because the expectations will become so large that they can't possibly be lived up to. So you make new traditions, make, the meal become a potluck, or make it be catered even, have your family less kitchen time and more family time. So it's just creating new memories again, and making family and the togetherness be the thing that's the most important for you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's your main focus. Um, and really dovetailing what you had said, Laura, about, modifying certain tasks and things like that for your loved ones, so everyone can participate and it's a win-win situation. Setting everyone up to succeed, not fail, is a big part of holiday. Is about gift giving, is creating gifts, and your loved one can still participate. They can still prepare, they can wrap, they can even give the gifts. And this is important. It's an exciting part. So we thought we'd share some ideas that we have done with clients, with residents, personally, with you, that have worked, that are fun to do. It was something that was foolproof, and the family members or the recipients of these gifts truly found it very meaningful. And the first one that I have used in the program, and I love it, is the no sew blankets. Especially if someone has always sewed, um, quilted, crocheted, done arts and crafts, this is really, you don't have a needle and you don't have a thread. You don't have to sit there and try to figure out how to get the thread through that little hole. And you don't have to worry about the safety part of the needle. There's none of that. It is so much fun to make, and grandkids can get involved too. You can pick these materials up at Joann's. That's where I had gotten my materials. The fabric can be picked up by your loved one, which has meaning in itself. And you can make these beautiful blankets, no matter how small or large. But it is a blanket that provides, warmth, security. It has just a unique meaning to it, that your loved one is giving to you. And everyone can share in it. And they're really beautiful blankets. So I wanted to share that with you, because that's something that I have personally done over and over again, and families have loved it. Do you have any?
Oh, I just left the camera for a minute before because I wanted to get this guy to show you. These are little gnomes. Everybody's making gnomes this time. Last year, I think they really became. But these are so easy to make with someone. I've made them with residents at work. I am a sewer and I like to sew, so I made the little body bags, the little bags for the bodies. But you can use socks. You can use socks from the dollar store. You can use your mismatched socks. The hat is a sock from the dollar store with a little bell, and the body can be a sock. These are just little pieces of fun fur that you can get again at Joann's, and Joann's not paying us anything to say it, but there are not a lot of fabric stores out there anymore. But you can just get small little pieces. This is like a wooden nose. This is a half of an egg, but it can be any shape, any little knob and they're just very cute. And you can get any kind of fabrics. And when Chrissy was talking about the no-sew blankets too, those fabrics, they have like literally hundreds of them in the stores. So it really is something they can go around and think of the person and think of what they know of them and say, they will love this one, And so the same with the gnomes. And there's a lot of Pinterest is your friend. Go to Pinterest and look for very easy holiday ideas. Or if you look for craft show ideas for the holidays, that's a good title to put in, because usually those are quick and easy. So that's another tip for you with that.
I have done with clients is done family recipes. So I've done this early on with clients who have these special recipes that they like to share within our group, and have them write down on a recipe card, laminate that recipe card. It has their own handwriting on it, which is very sentimental, something you can hang into and pass on through the generations. But the recipe also allows you to reminisce, what that recipe was so special. What made that recipe so special, and actually make the recipe and provide that as a gift along with the recipe card. That has been wonderful. And I've done Mitzi Kit. Mitzi Kit is a wonderful organization, local, that has arts and crafts that I've used, making pillows, blankets, quilts, that is foolproof. You cannot fail at this. The instructions are very simple, and you can go on the website and you can pick out the different projects that you can work on. That's easily adapted for those that are living with visual impairment, memory impairment. So I believe that's going to be, that link is going to be at the end of the show too, so you can take advantage of that. But those are just some of the things that we have. There's many more. Laura, I think the main thing also is trusting your instincts too.
Yeah. You do. You have to trust your instincts. You know best, and know that you know best. And it's okay to reschedule or to decline things at the last minute. It's okay. You are doing what is best for you and your loved one who is living with dementia. And for some people, let's just put that out there. For some people, the holidays have never been a time of joy for you. They have been stressful. They have been expensive. They have been a time where people are kind of, picking at each other. And so you might already be very heightened. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay if that day is not a holiday for you that year. If it's not working, if your loved one doesn't really know what day it is anymore, it's okay for you to not have to have those struggles. You can still celebrate if it's Christmas or something like that. You can still celebrate within yourself, religiously, whatever your beliefs are. But it's whatever your day has to be is okay to be. And again, we talked about your path and walking it, and it's your journey together, and it will be what it is. So if it's going to be that you love holidays and you really want to embrace them, just embrace them smaller, embrace them manageably, and if it's a bad day, it's okay. The people you will have been including, if you think about the tips we gave, will understand. And you might be able to call them next week after Christmas and say, everyone, it's a great day today. Today is Christmas. Come on over.
Yep. So just make sure you take time out for yourself, but most importantly, be mindful.
Take deep breaths.
Yes. And embrace this moment with gratitude and love.
Yeah. You know that you can do this. You can do it. And we really hope that we're giving you some help with that. We look forward to seeing you next week at 7 p.m. on Thursday, when our subject will be another 4-letter word, and this word will be hope.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, ladies. Thank you so much. I think it's so important that our viewers understand the aspect of keeping things simple, keeping things small, and having the right attitude. Um, we will have links to the things, the different crafts in the credits at the end. And once again, I would like to thank you, the viewer, for sharing this time with us of fundamentals to connecting to your loved one with dementia. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Peter.